What's going on, everybody? It is Hunter and Jake, and we're back with the BoogiePod episode 15. We're going to be talking about all the good sports again today. Jada, answer your question off the bat. No, we're not streaming on Twitch. BoogiePod say YouTube thing only because I want to go back and get rid of the streams I've done on YouTube. I don't want those to upload, but I want the BoogiePod to upload, obviously. That's the whole point of the BoogiePod. Oh, dang, that's loud. Okay. Jake, man, how's your day been? How was your weekend?
Pretty good, besides the Cowboys. But besides that,
Yeah.
pretty okay.
I mean, everyone has to take an L eventually.
Mm,
It had to be the Cowboys.
yeah.
My week was pretty good. It was pretty good. Out of school again tomorrow, so that's clutch. And then I guess we'll probably start going back Thursday, unless it snows like it's supposed to. So let's hope it does. All right. Starting off, we did the pick'ems last week in college basketball. I'll have to go and get this out of the way. I only have 3 games this week. You went 2-2 last week. I went 3-1 last week. So I'm off to a little bit of an early lead. We only got 3 games. We got 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. So Michigan State, number 14 Michigan State at number 8 Wisconsin. Who do you have in that one, Jake?
I'll go Wisconsin.
Okay, I also have Wisconsin. And then we'll go into that game's on Friday, and then there's 2 on Saturday, and that is number 12 Kentucky at number 2 Auburn. Who do you have in that one?
That's a good game. I'm going to go Auburn.
I'll go Auburn too. I think
Yeah.
Auburn's gonna win that conference, at least in the regular
Maybe.
season. Number 13 LSU at number 24 Tennessee. Who do you have in that game?
Oh, LSU. Yeah,
LSU. I got Tennessee.
I hope, but I don't have faith. Not right now.
So Jake, and then me and you split on that last one. All right. Now we're gonna go into college football. Okay. Now I read an article on ESPN by let me get out my notes here. Heather Dinich. Dinichi. I don't know. For ESPN.
Okay, yeah.
And she wrote an article about the playoff expansions and their meetings and stuff, right? So I wrote down some notes here. I've read it. Okay. They all agree. Everyone in the room, right? Listen to this. Agrees that the playoffs should be expanded.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do it, you ask? Well, they all disagree on when it should be done and how it should be done. They all disagree. Not a single one agrees with the other one, according to the article. All right? Their next meeting is in 4 to 6 weeks in Dallas. All right, where they'll talk about it again. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. How can you have, right? Everyone agree that this is a must-have, it needs to be expanded and stuff in the room, and then it just don't happen because you disagree on how it should be done or when.
Who is everybody? Like, who is in the room? Do you know? Does it say? I don't even understand who does this.
It's just
like,
the NCAA. It's like their committee on the playoff thing.
Yeah.
You have and even when it gets done, right? The contract for the 4-team playoff system doesn't end until 2025. So regardless if when you get it done, it has to be 2025 or past. So yeah. I would target for 2025, and that would be the first year I would do it. And you would also get to try it with the FCS for all those weeks leading up to it. I just don't get how everyone could agree that it needs to be done, but everyone's too stubborn on how it should be done or when. I think it's very obvious when it should be done and how it should be done. Honestly, I think that's pretty obvious too. Most of them agree it's 12 teams. That's what they said. They really talked about 12 teams. 8 teams was there too, and 6 was also there that brung up. But most of them agreed on 12. So I think if it's 12, I think it's obvious what you do. You make every single game a New Year's Six Bowl, and then you got 1 versus 12, 2 versus et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then you just break them down. But whatever, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, it just kind of fits with how NCAA people usually are. They're slow.
Yep.
They don't like getting anything done necessarily quickly, and they have till 2025, and that's probably how they're looking at it. You don't need to do it now. Just be lazy and wait until you have to do something.
Yep, I agree.
It could be in 2025 because, like, people will be so worried about where the money's going that they'll just come up with a whole new plan and just scrap the original playoff with what they're doing right now and just make a whole new thing. I don't know, or they'll just extend it. But
And if you wait so long to 2025, which I know it's when the contract goes through or whatever, etc., whatever the excuse is. Let's say we have 2 more seasons of where the college football playoffs a problem, right, with 4 teams, and then the last 2 leading up to it, they're like crazy good games and everything's perfect with the 4 teams and there's no complaints. Well, then you're gonna have people arguing like, "Oh, we don't need to expand it. This is great. We had 2 good years." What? Had 2 good years. Look at all the other ones, and then you'll just have another argument, and then I'm afraid that'll push it back even more. And then it's just, I feel like you wait for too many things to happen. So I don't know. All right, that's all it is, the college football. Besides that, I mean, any other stories I came up with were kind of like rankings of like next year and stuff, and we got plenty of time to talk about that in the future. We're not talking about that right now. All right, MLB. All right, Jake, I want he's probably the biggest person to not sign right now. Might be. Trying to think off the top of my head. If I told you who was the biggest person to not be signed yet, who would you say, Jake?
I'd probably say they're Freddie Freeman or Carlos Correa.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman is who we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I want give me, right, your top 3 places Freddie Freeman could end up at.
Braves, Dodgers, Yankees.
Okay.
I think that's the easy big 3.
You think Braves is first?
Yeah, I think it's most likely to end up with the Braves. I would say that the Yankees are. It's not even close. Like Dodgers and Yankees, I think the Dodgers have a way better shot at getting him than the Yankees do. Way better. But I think Yankees are still third. That's how much better of a shot I think they have.
Yeah,
I think it really is Braves or Dodgers, but
yeah, I got Braves, and I have Yankees too, and I have Dodgers 3.
Yeah,
I have the same list, but I have Yankees too. I actually think if Yankees want him, they'll push for him, and I think the fact that Yankees hasn't signed nobody else yet kind of makes it where it's kind of like, maybe, I don't know, but yeah. I think Braves is the most likely chance.
Yeah.
All right, give me your top 5 best teams for 2022 power rankings. I'll go first. I'll give you time to think.
Yeah.
All right, my honorable mentions. I have 2 honorable mentions. Okay, I have the Red Sox and I have the Astros. All right, those are my honorable mention teams. All right, number 5, I have the White Sox. They return most of everybody. I still don't think they're a World Series type team. If you were to ask me, Hunter, does the Red Sox and Astros have a better shot to win the World Series than the White Sox? I would say yes, but I think the White Sox are a better team. Just the reason of I don't think White Sox are winners, so I don't think they'd be able to do it. But,
yeah,
I think talent-wise, they're probably number 5. Number 4, I have the Rays. That's all I'm saying. Number 3, I have the Blue Jays. I think Toronto Blue Jays is really talented, even with them losing their second baseman or whatever. Still, very, very, very good baseball team.
They lost Robbie Ray as well.
Did they?
They went to the Mariners, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they went to the Mariners.
Maybe I would switch them and the Rays. I still am not dropping them far, though. I still say I think between Rays, Blue Jays, and Boston will be for that division. I actually think if Yankees don't get Freddie Freeman or they don't make another big move, I don't see them.
Yeah, they won't be very good.
I think their coach is awful. Anyways, number 2, I have the Braves. Okay, World Series champs. They're not really losing nobody, and if they get Freddie Freeman, they'll be just fine. I don't see any problem. The only thing that concerns me about the Braves and why I don't have them number 1 is just because they start off the season really slow, and I would like to see them not do that again this year. I would like for them to dominate and then keep going like they did towards the second half of the year. And then number 1, I have the Dodgers because they're probably the most loaded team in sports besides the Nets. So,
nah.
Yeah. What you got?
For 5, I would probably say, maybe Milwaukee.
Okay.
Milwaukee Brewers, their pitching staff's pretty dang good still, and I think they added a bat. I'm pretty sure they got Hunter Renfroe in that trade, and I think they'll probably make another move for another bat, and they might be something to watch. And then 4, I'd probably say White Sox. I think they're loaded with a lot of young talent. They're just not ready to start winning anything yet necessarily. I mean, they were first round exits, but they lost to the Astros. But I think they have a good future. They'll probably will win one before the 20s are over. I would say for sure. You would think.
Yeah.
And 3, I would have Tampa Bay at 3. I think Tampa Bay, there's something about them. They always have pitching now.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the young guys, they just get them. They're good. And that rookie pitching, those few rookie starting pitchers they had against Boston will be more experienced. And so I have them at 3. And 2 is the Dodgers, obviously. Loaded.
Okay.
I mean, they don't really need anything necessarily. And then 1's Braves. Because they won the World Series, and they're only going to get better. They're going to get Acuna back, and their ace is hopefully coming back, Mike Soroka. So I'm going to Braves at 1.
The reason why I have the Red Sox as an honorable mention is because they depend on what they want to bring back and what moves they make. I read a tweet today that they are showing interest, or like there's a big like rumor, I guess, or something, that Matt Chapman might actually be a big move for them, and they bring back Kyle Schwarber too and put Kyle Schwarber in the outfield.
Yeah, Matt Chapman's the best defensive third baseman in the league, so that would help you guys a lot because defense is not Boston's thing.
Yeah, but then the whole thing was he's third baseman.
Matt Chapman.
Yeah. The thing I saw was that he would play first.
He's like the best defensive third baseman he played for the A's. So I don't really know why they would move him to first, but they could do that, I guess. He's just a really good third baseman.
Yeah, I would say the only way they would, if that's the case, then the only way I could see them moving it to first is just because Devers can't go anywhere else. If that's the case, I don't really see why you bring back Kyle Schwarber then.
Well, Matt Chapman's not a good hitter. He had a really bad hitting year this year. He's just a really good defender. So I would bring back Schwarber for the bat, but
yeah. But then and then I also saw the things about like Carlos Correa or the other one. Who's the other one?
Trevor Story?
Yep. One of those.
Yeah, I don't see Boston chilling out for Carlos Correa.
No.
I don't see it. Trevor Story's an option, though.
Yeah, I think that's a lot more likely.
Yeah.
Okay. Going into the NFL, everyone's favorite. We're not doing a like game of the week or player of the week or anything like that because playoffs, and we just ain't gonna do it. What is next, Jade? The Cardinals got road stomped by the Rams. It's a shame. You left my house early. It's a shame. It's a shame. They suck. Cardinals suck. Kyler Murray's a loser. So what's next for them?
I don't know. They're in a weird spot because they look so good to start the season every year now. It seems like under Cliff Kingsbury, and he just cannot pull them through to the playoffs at the same level of play.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyler's good. I don't think he'll ever win anything, though. I don't think his style of play will ever win him a Super Bowl unless his team is just loaded.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good core. He's very talented. But I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury's going to be – he needs to be on the hot seat bad because they collapsed really bad. And they need more – they got to get DeAndre Hopkins back. I don't know. They're in a really kind of bad spot, I would say.
Yeah.
This year was supposed to be their year, kind of. They started off like 9-0 before losing their first game. I mean, they were like the best team for a while. But
yep. Yeah, I think their next move is just, man, I don't know, reassess in the offseason, maybe try to pick up. I would try to get everyone you have back at least.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe find some weapons, a little bit better weapons on defense. I think your offense is fine. DeAndre Hopkins is getting kind of old, though. You gotta get some kind of running game that's like used. You have great running backs, but you don't use them. I don't get it. So you gotta figure out how to run the ball. Like you gotta figure out how to you can run the ball. I'm just saying figure out how to call the play, I guess. If it's not a coordinator issue, then I would figure out the head coach. I don't exactly know what goes on there, but yeah, I think Cardinals just need to take a step back. And they need to look inside themselves and figure out what the problem is. Because too much talent. And like you said, collapse in the second half of the year. Collapse in the second half of the year is the reason why they didn't win their first playoff game. Because they had to go to the Rams. And I think...
Yeah.
And if they could have just kept their seeding and got to play at home, maybe a different story. I'm not saying it would have been. I'm just saying better odds. So...
Yeah.
All right. What's next for Bill Belichick?
Keep coaching. There's no difference. It's okay to lose.
For the Patriots?
Yeah. He's still the best coach of all time. I mean, who cares? He lost the first round with a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterback. I think during the year, I bit into maybe they can make a run. It's hard to do with a rookie quarterback. He didn't even play that bad. their defense. It don't matter how good Mac Jones played. Their defense played so bad. I don't think he could have outgunned Josh Allen anyways. So
What do you think?
I think it's.
What do you think you do if you're the Patriots then? Not necessarily Bill Belichick. If Bill Belichick wants to stay with the Patriots and coach again another year, then what?
You gotta get a stud wide receiver. You need a stud for Mac Jones because I don't think he needs to be thrown. I mean, their wide receiver course probably at least bottom 10. I mean, they're not great at all.
Yeah,
they can run the ball okay.
Randoms.
Yeah, there are no studs,
yeah,
like real studs on that team. They need like anybody they can get just to help Mac Jones out, and that's where you start. I think is just helping him.
Okay. Yeah, I think Bill Belichick is in return again next year, and I think he will be the coach for the Patriots. But if I was Bill Belichick, I would go coach for another team. That would be me.
Wow.
Because you look around, right? You look at your quarterback. You have Mac Jones. Okay, good quarterback. There ain't nothing wrong with Mac Jones. Then you look at your conference. And who's in your conference of quarterbacks? Right?
Yep.
I mean, and then it makes Mac Jones look a lot worse, in my opinion. And I think they're in a problem where I think Mac Jones is fine. I think he's fine. But I'm going to make a statement here. I think we've seen the best of Mac Jones. That's my prediction. I think we've seen the best of Mac Jones. Now, maybe, obviously, better wide receivers like you bring up, it's going to help him. But I think we've seen the best of Mac Jones. I don't think Mac Jones gets much better than what he is right now. Now, I'm not saying 2 picks, like you said. It didn't matter what they did against the Bills. They were getting road stopped their defense, and their defense will be fine. I don't have any problems about that. I think it was just Josh Allen's night. But I mean, he's not better. Mac Jones is not better than Josh Allen, and I don't think ever will be. I don't think he doesn't have a cap ceiling like Josh Allen has. His ceiling. What I'm trying to say is Mac Jones' ceiling is what it is now, or maybe just a tad bit higher. I don't think he gets much better than what he is right now, and I think so. I mean, he's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Patrick Mahomes, or what I mean by not better, not right now, like never will be. Or never has the potential to be. Never has the potential to be. I mean, yeah, I think Mac Jones is like, I mean, he's better than Ryan Tannehill. And then you got.
That's not true. This year, maybe, but career-wise, no. Ryan Tannehill was playing like he did the last 2 years. Titans be the clear favorite right now. He's having a down year. No, Mac Jones is not as good as Ryan Tannehill, but he could be, but not right now. Maybe right now you could argue he's better, but overall, no.
I don't think Mac Jones has the potential to be better than Joe Burrow.
No shot.
I mean, Steelers, if they go out and get like Deshaun Watson, I don't think Mac Jones can be better than Deshaun Watson. I don't think, and say if the Steelers go out and get Aaron Rodgers, well, we already know the answer to that. And then if the Steelers draft somebody in the draft, well, what if they draft Kenny Pickett and he's a stud? Then all of a sudden, everyone who just made the playoffs with you have a better quarterback than you. It don't matter who you put around them. And I think Bill Belichick's brain. So I think if you don't leave, I think you maybe go find a quarterback. Now, obviously, you wait. You don't do it now. You wait 3 years. Because what if Mac Jones becomes a stud and I'm just completely wrong? Then it's what it is. But I wouldn't keep it out. Like, if Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson came knocking at my door, I would pick up. I wouldn't be like, oh, I already have my young quarterback, I'm not going to here to pay the money. If I give up Mac Jones and 2 draft picks for Deshaun Watson, I'm doing that if I'm the Patriots. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a reason they took Mac Jones in the first round. Under Bill Belichick, they never drafted a quarterback in the first round. Obviously, they had Tom Brady the whole time, but before that either, I don't know if they had a long time. So they'd had to seen something they liked, and you just got to give him time. I mean, he had a good rookie year. Pretty solid. I don't know. He'll never be as talented, but maybe he can possibly game manage enough to make an AFC Championship game one day, possibly. But he's not going to outgun like Justin Herbert or anybody like Joe Burrow or these other guys. I agree with that.
Okay. So you got other team that lost. Jake, we got to talk about, man. Cowboys.
It's okay. I'm ready. I'd love talking about them, dude. I love it.
I'll let you take the floor. What is next for the Dallas Cowboys?
Okay, well, there's two things. There's what should be next and what will happen.
Okay.
I'll tell you what should be next is you fire Mike McCarthy and you pray to God Kellen Moore goes and picks up a head coaching job or something. No one's going to offer him anymore after that game, though. He screwed his chances, I would say. At least to coach in the NFL. If I was Jerry Jones, I would get rid of Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore. I'm going to hire Brian Flores right now and just go do it. I like Brian Flores. He shouldn't have been fired. And you got to think, too, if you're the Eagles and Washington and New York Giants, I bet they'd be happy if we kept Mike McCarthy, and that's never good. If another team's happy because you kept your coach, that's not good.
Yeah.
So, but what's going to happen is we will keep Mike McCarthy. He's going to stay. They've almost confirmed it today that his chances of staying are very high. And I think Kellen Moore is a wild card because I think somebody could offer him a job. Maybe not in the NFL, but I think he would take almost any job as a head coach right now. That's what he wants to do. And I'd be happy for him, but I would also just be really curious to see how that experiment would play out because he'll probably go to a team with not near the talent, and he struggles with this kind of talent on offense. I don't know what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people trying to talk about Dak. It might not be the guy. I don't think Dak's like necessarily like a stud. Like I think we overpaid him. Obviously, everyone knows Dak's overpaid. He's overpaid. The only quarterback to get paid like that right now is Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, something like that. That's how much he's getting paid. Like one of those guys. He's never going to be that guy. But I think he's good enough to lead a team on a playoff run. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with him. But it's the coaching right now. The penalties are the biggest issue. 14 penalties. You don't deserve to beat anybody. We still only lost by 6 with 14 penalties. I mean, imagine if we had half that. What could have happened? I don't know. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Okay. I do think, coaching's a problem and things like that. I think you guys got too many people that make too much money and don't like give product on the field. Ezekiel Elliott being one of those. Dak Prescott, even though I think Dak Prescott's he's good. It's just what he gets paid isn't worth it. But it's too late now. He gets paid that, and that's what it is. I do think he's your quarterback. Because to be honest with you, unless it's Aaron Rodgers, I don't see another reason why you would need another quarterback. I do think Ezekiel Elliott's a weird thing. He makes way too much money, and he's not very good.
I think you cut him. No one will trade for him either because his contract's too much. He's not worth it. I think you have to cut him for cap space. I like Zeke, but you just can't keep him anymore.
Yeah, the wide receivers are definitely there. Discipline needs to be a factor. Coaching has to get together, man. It's just they gotta be held more accountable. Gotta be held more accountable. And I think all Dallas is missing, to be honest, is one guy to come in there and just straighten everybody up. Realize, hey, you're the Dallas Cowboys. Let's play like it. You're not the Cowgirls like you guys were playing like. You gotta be the Cowboys. You gotta get it going. Let's go. It's just ridiculous, and I'll be honest with you. I really thought before that game started that there was no you let the Cowboys let the 49ers come into their place and beat them in the playoffs, and the Cowboys are 2 times as talented as the 49ers, and I just hate it.
Yeah.
And it bothers me because everyone who hates the Cowboys got what they wanted, and it's just stupid. And because they didn't deserve what they wanted, because the Cowboys are there, they built a great team, they went out and got the people they needed, they paid them too much, they got the boys they needed, and they just couldn't win. I think it starts with coaching, and then I think it triples down to some other players on the field. But
yeah, and I think there's been a culture change under Mike McCarthy this year, and it's not been a necessarily good one because if you listen to what they say in the post-game interviews, they blame the refs. Every time I've seen them lose this year, they go in there and blame the refs. Mm-hmm. Dak Prescott's been doing that, and he's never done that before in his career. If he loses, he takes it like a man. That's what it is. Now he's sitting up there blaming the refs, crap like that, because Mike McCarthy's been doing that crap. Their head coach. He blames the refs every time they lose, almost. And sometimes there's bad calls. There's about bad call in every game. Yeah. The NFL refs aren't good. Everyone just suck it up. They're not good. The NCAA refs suck. Every refs, they all kind of suck. There's a couple good ones, but you don't ever hear about them. That's good for them. But there's been a bad culture change. I think now everyone's looking for excuses, and they're not just looking at themselves and saying like, "Hey, we're not playing like we should." But under Mike McCarthy, that's not going to change. So
all right, let's get into some predictions for the divisional round. Try to turn that frown upside down. The Bengals are at the Titans. Jake, who do you got?
I got the Titans. Titans. It'll be a great game. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that game. I think the Titans with Derrick Henry, if he comes back like everyone thinks he will, they'll just steamroll ahead, and I'd say they win by 3. I think it's gonna be it'll be a really good game.
I think this game's gonna be really competitive and a lot of fun, and I got the Titans as well. I got the Titans. They're at home.
Yeah.
Surely to God. Surely to God. You want to talk about someone who has a little pressure on him, though? I'll be honest with you. Tannehill has a tiny bit of pressure on him.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta win, man.
Yeah, he does.
You gotta win.
You gotta win.
All right. San Francisco 49ers are at the Green Bay Packers. Who you got in that game, Jake?
I got Packers. They're my Super Bowl picks. I'm all the way with the Packers. I bet Packers win by 10.
10? Yeah, I got Packers, too. I think that, I like 10. I kind of like where you're sitting there. Not a blowout or anything, but a good little healthy win. I don't see how they could struggle much. The only thing that scares me a little bit is Packers have a history of when they're on a bye, they kind of throw, but I think they'll be okay. I don't really see how.
I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. If it was the Cowboys, I would circle it a little bit, but I think where it's the 49ers, I just don't really see it. The only thing that would scare me a little bit is like if the 49ers get running the ball and they get going, that would be the only thing that would worry me a tad bit. But besides that, like if the 49ers start keeping their offense off the field and start having, 6-minute, 7-minute drives and things start escalating like that, and then all of a sudden it's halftime and the score's 10-7, and then and they get into a 49ers game, that would be the only thing that scared me. But I don't really see Aaron Rodgers letting 49ers come into Green Bay and beating them. There's no way.
Yeah, I see. If they make Jimmy G throw the ball more than he wants, they'll obviously win. That's how you beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys started getting at him in the second half. The 49ers scored 7 points in that game in the second half because Jimmy G started throwing the ball a little bit. And he threw a really bad pick, and he's like looks good until all of a sudden he just poops the bed.
Yep.
And you're like, wow, this is a good game for them now because Jimmy G just messed it up.
Yep.
So if they can just make him throw it more, then they'll be all right.
Rams at the Bucks. Jake, who you got in this game?
I got the Rams.
I
got the Rams. I think if Matthew Stafford does no more than one pick, they will win. I think if he turns the ball over more than one time, they will lose, though.
Okay.
I think if Stafford can take care of the ball, they will win this game.
Yeah, the Rams looked so good against the Cardinals, man. They looked so good.
Yeah.
I think if it was a fully healthy Bucks team, I would take the Bucks.
That's different.
Yeah, I'd take the Bucks. But where they're banged up, and I watched the Eagles actually get pressure on Tom Brady. If the Eagles can do it,
4 times.
Yeah, Happy Valley could do it. So I'm going the Rams. All right, I'm going the Rams too. Hate it for the old man back there throwing dots, but it's just what it is, man. I think he gets sacked. I honestly, if their offensive line don't step it up, I kind of am scared for him a little bit, man. What if he gets dinked?
Yeah, he can't be getting like that. Yeah, Aaron Donald will eat him for lunch. It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
All right, Bills at Chiefs. Who you got in that game?
This is easily the game of the week, I think. This is going to be a crazy one. I got the Bills, though, knocking out the Chiefs.
You got the Bills. All right.
Yep, I'm all in on them, too.
I got the Chiefs.
Almost.
I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
I have the Chiefs. They looked great. The Bills looked even better in both of their games. I'm not sold on Josh Allen being a winner yet, though. A winner in the playoffs, I'm not sold on Josh Allen yet.
That's fair, yeah.
So if he beats the Chiefs, all right, he's a winner. I'm putting in a check mark. Josh Allen's a winner if he beats the Chiefs. But if he loses to the Chiefs, I'm not going to say he's a loser yet, but he's going to be itching with it. All right, he's going to be itching with it. So I was about to ask you, what's your game of the week this past week? You already told me Bills and Chiefs is your game of the week.
Yeah.
My game of the week is Rams and Bucks. That's the game I'm most excited for. I'm very interested because I want to see what Tom Brady and the Bucks do against that much talent. Because I'm trying to, think about it. That could be the most talented teams the Bucks have ever played against. Or Tom Brady has ever played against. Talent-wise. Pure talent-wise. Overall in Madden. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That might be one of the most, just pure power ranking talented teams that he's ever played against. And I'm very curious to see what happens. And man, how cool would it be for Matthew Stafford to say he beat Tom Brady at his place in the playoffs after everyone's down to him being 0-3? That'd be so cool for Matthew Stafford. So I'm going.
It'd be great, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Rams. Yeah, I'm going Rams. But dang, it would also be something though if the Rams pull up in there and then Bucks just crap on them. That'd be insane too. I think
I would like to see how they would do that. Yeah.
See, it's gonna be it's weird for me because even though I'm picking the Rams, I'll be shocked if the Rams win. But if the Bucks win, I'm gonna be shocked too. That's why it has to happen for my game of the week. I'm shocked no matter what happens because I don't expect. In my brain, the game gets rained out because I just don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I really don't. Whatever happens in that game, I'm gonna be shocked. So, all right, that wraps up the podcast. That's all we got. We covered all sports. We don't talk about NBA because NBA is gay. And yeah, that's it. That's all of it. All right. Well, guys, we'll see ya in the next one. I'll have videos coming out later. Wait a minute. I passed up UFC completely, didn't I?
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Holy crap. Okay. Going into UFC. That was supposed to be after college football. And I was sitting here thinking, because I was about to name what videos I was going to do later this week. And one was a UFC video. And I was like, wait a minute, we didn't even talk about UFC. Okay, Jake, UFC 270. I want your picks for Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane and Moreno versus Figgy. Obviously, I know this could change once it gets fight night. But I want what they are right now. I'm not going to tell you mine because I'll be making a video on it later for the YouTube channel later this week. I'm not going to say I'm here. But, like I said, I'll be making a video later this week on them. So I want to hear yours. Who you got?
The fights are right now. I would have to take Francis. I'm not going to pick against that power until I have a reason to necessarily.
Yeah.
So I think Cyril Gane is the what?
I was going to say you got knockout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Francis by round 2 or 3 knockout.
Okay.
2 probably. I would say round 2. I think Cyril Gane is a better overall fighter. But heavyweight, it rarely matters.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't matter.
How much power these guys have, you could be the most talented dude in the world, and it doesn't even matter. That dude, if the other guy hits you one time.
Derek Lewis. Or like Derek Lewis versus anyone he's ever fought.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's not really, sometimes it's not really fair, but that's how it is for heavyweights. But yeah, I got Francis. I'm pretty confident in Francis, actually. I think Cyril Gane has a great shot, but I don't know. Something just tells me Francis has got it.
All right. What about
and then Figgy and Moreno. This one I really don't know because it depends. I kind of am waiting until the weigh-ins actually. If Figgy looks really healthy, I would be tempted to pick him because he's very good. People are doubting him now because he lost.
Yeah,
but he's very good. And I'm not making excuses for him, but dude, he was like sick. Yeah, he was like not healthy for that dang fight, dude, against Moreno. The second one, you could just tell the look at his face. It was bad. But if he looks a little less, I would take Moreno pretty confidently because Moreno's never been finished.
But here's what scares me a little bit about it, right? Moreno has never been finished, and now Moreno has felt his power in 2 different fights.
Yep.
So, nor has he never been finished. Now he has confidence he can take the punches.
Yeah.
So what if he just lets it out on them, man? Beats the crap out of them. Because
it's possible.
Because I'm not sure if Figgy, he got crapped on the ground by Moreno.
Mm-hmm.
So
he looked tired immediately when he stepped in the ring too. The octagon. That's how it is for him.
So,
cutting down all that weight.
I still don't know. Like even if I was going to pick, I'll be completely honest with you. I still don't know who I'm taking in neither fight. I really don't. What 50-50 fights we have, man? That's crazy. I really don't know.
I know.
All right. I want your predictions for the male and female fighters of the year by the end of 2022. I'll go first. I'll give you time to think. For female, I have Shevchenko. I think she'll probably be a double champ. And for male fighter of the year, I actually think it comes down to the winner of Robert Whittaker and Izzy. Because I think whoever wins that fight will go on a big old streak, and will just defend their title like 3 or 4 times this year. Well, 2 or 3 times this year, including the Whittaker and Izzy fight. I think if Whittaker wins, he definitely has a better shot at becoming fighter of the year. But I think Izzy's other competition, say if Izzy won, I think another guy I would probably throw in there, say if Justin Gaethje beats Oliveira and also beats Islam. I think if Islam beats whoever wins that fight and Islam goes on to defend the title a couple times, Muslim bias, UFC's bad for it. Yeah, I don't really. Maybe if Peter Yan defends his belt a lot and looks dominant. I really don't see.
Yeah.
I think welterweight's gonna be weird this year because I actually could see Usman retiring this year. So I think
Yeah.
welterweight has a really good shot to be weird. I think Francis is only gonna fight like once or maybe twice this year if he beats Cyril Gane.
He might leave the UFC.
Yeah, he got contract and stuff, other issues going on. Cyril Gane might have a shot to win if he beats Francis. He might have a shot to get it. And light heavyweights, Yuri maybe has a chance to get it. Forget about Yuri, but besides that, light heavyweight's just stupid. Jan's in there, he sucks. So the whole division is stupid. Well, all right, what you got?
So I'm looking at this year, 2022, as the last year of Usman. I don't know if he's going to retire. I don't know if he's getting knocked out and losing the belt. But I think this is his last year. And I think the guy that's going to beat him is Hazmat. And I think he's going to be the male fighter of the year.
Okay. So
Usman's he's probably the most dominant belt holder right now since Nunes lost. That or Shevchenko.
The only reason
male fighter.
Yeah, the only reason I'm so worried about Hazmat being male fighter of the year is I just don't think he has time within the year to get there. Because they don't even have his next fight scheduled yet, and I think he's going to have to get 2 or 3 more fights till the title. And the fact that we don't already know when he's fighting again, I think it would have to be in January or February if he was going to try to get to the title. So I think he just might not have enough time for 2022 to be able to fight in the title.
Well, the way I look at it is that there's a lot of rumors that they both verbally agreed, Gilbert Burns and Hazmat, to fight. And if he beats Gilbert Burns, he's getting a title shot.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Which he would deserve it because Gilbert Burns is right there too.
Yeah, Gilbert Burns.
So,
that's
you
true.
beat Gilbert Burns, you go beat Usman.
Yeah,
that's the 2 welterweight killers in my eyes, besides Colby.
Yeah.
And then you maybe defend it once, he's easily the fighter of the year.
Yeah.
For male. And then the female fighter of the year is pretty easy. I think Shevchenko will go get 2 belts. I think Nunes is on the downward spiral. She left her team now.
Yeah.
I don't like that. After a loss, I don't like that.
Yeah,
that's not a good look for me if I was her, but yeah, I think Shevchenko.
I got a hot take to tell you about real fast because we're about to talk about Calvin Kattar and Giga, their fight. I rewatched that fight, right? I think if Giga he gets taken down, but he slips first and then gets taken down because he threw the kick or whatever. I think if that does not happen, he wins that fight. But I think because that happened and Calvin Kattar laid on him, that's what made him tired. And I know you could say, well, he just has cardio issues in general. But if you watch the Barbosa fight, he's striking the whole time. He's not tired. Not tired. But when he gets into the wrestling exchange, that gassed him out completely. But regardless, Calvin Kattar, my question to you is, right, Jake? Who do you think has a higher chance of becoming a champion one day? Calvin Kattar or Giga?
Phew. I don't know, because they're really different. Because Calvin Kattar's like a lesser Holloway, where they're both kind of zombies, but they're good at striking, but they also take a lot of hits. They just don't go down, typically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Kattar has a shot, but I don't know how he'd beat Volkanovski necessarily. I think Volkanovski fight him similar to how he fought Holloway, because they're kind of similar fighters. But then Giga, I think he'd have a better shot.
Yeah.
Giga, I think he's got to figure out the gas tank, and if it was because of the wrestling, he's got to figure that out too. Because I would guarantee he's a pretty mediocre wrestler. That's kind of shows how tired he got. I think Giga's still really good. He might have been a little overrated. But I would say Giga has a better shot because I think Calvin Kattar's going to get stopped by a lot of the more top guys.
Yeah, I think Giga definitely has a better shot because he just has to make adjustments. Where I think with Calvin, because Giga has a thing, he has the pure talent. It's there.
Yeah,
he can just make the adjustments. Where I feel like Calvin's pure talent is not as good. He's more of like a tough boy, you know. So I think so. I just don't see. I honestly would think Giga actually has a lot better shot to get the title than Calvin. But when I first wrote down that question, I thought it was very interesting And no disrespect on Calvin. It's not like he lost.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he won. Like he won. And I just think anyone with cardio is gonna beat Calvin. You want to talk about a guy who's a chin guy? Even when Calvin was striking, man, he looked kind of slow. He looked
Yeah.
like I don't know how old he is. He looked kind of old when he was throwing. I'm not even gonna lie, but he has beat the crap out of him because Diego was so tired. So I think like you look at it, dude, and you look at the fight. It's like no wonder Max Holloway beat the crap out of Calvin Kattar. Like no wonder.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, Max Holloway's gonna hit you 3 times before that other punch. When your punch lands, you throw like that.
Yeah, I think Holloway's definitely just a better version of Kattar, a way better version of Calvin Kattar. I think this for Giga, it could be a big learning experience for him because I think he came in there just expecting to knock him out, and not everyone's like that. You can't just knock out everybody. Some people have freakishly weird chins, and you just don't knock them out. And I think their game plan showed that because he kind of blew his load early. The wrestling, I think, hurt, but he also was like going. He started strong on the feet too, and I think that didn't help anything.
All right.
You'll have to learn from that.
Last question, and then we're gonna end the podcast. Who's your Nets? Who do you think's your Nets opponents for both guys?
Oh wow.
Mine for Calvin Kattar. Mine for Calvin Kattar is Yair. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a great fight. Because I think Yair has the conditioning and like the talent for Calvin, and I really want to see if Calvin can like take him to the ground or be a tough guy against him. I'm curious about that fight. And for Giga Man, maybe a reset. He just kind of comes back. Yeah, I think, man, maybe a Josh Emmett or who just won? Shane Burgos. Maybe a guy like that.
Burgos makes sense.
Yeah. Just like a guy who's not crazy good but can get you back there. And maybe I want to see him against a guy who has a pretty good chin to kind of test his cardio again. And I think Shane Burgos is that guy. Shane Burgos has a good chin. I know Barbosa sent him to like a different. That was weird though. That was like that's what happens when someone like Matt Holloway or Calvin Kattar gets knocked out, where their chin's so good, they just shut down. I mean, it looked like he was getting rebooted. Yeah. Like it was weird. So
that was weird.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Shane Burgos may be a good opponent there.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say for Kattar, I think Yair is definitely the best fight for him. He's moving up. Yair just actually is surprisingly competitive with Max Holloway.
Very competitive. Very competitive.
Very competitive. For having that long layoff, and Holloway looked good, but meh.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect fight. I actually would agree with the Shane Burgos pick as well for Giga. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
They just keep being Shane Burgos killers though. I think he's been fighting a lot of higher level people.
Who did he fight last time?
Who did he beat?
That's what I was about to say.
He beat that Billy Quarantillo. That was a good fight. Billy Quarantillo's not bad. No. Yeah. That was a good win for him. So I think that fight makes sense too. I wouldn't move Giga down too far, but he's still good. I wouldn't punish him too bad.
Yeah.
I give him a middle of the road guy. Any middle of the road guy would be happy.
Shane Burgos is a good test. Because if you lose to Shane Burgos,
that's a great test.
Yeah, if you lose Shane Burgos, you're done. But if you beat Shane Burgos, you're good. Yeah. I think if he loses to Shane Burgos, I think he has too much talent to just be done. But I think when you have that kind of talent, if he lost to Shane Burgos, or honestly, if it's his next fight, as long as it's not a killer, then I think, honestly, maybe look at a different weight division. Just to mix things up. I mean, look at Barbosa. That's what he did. It worked out for a little bit until he got crapped on. So.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it. You got any last remarks?
Mm-mm.
All right. Me neither. Clemson plays at 9. Go